Alright, what's up, YouTube? So, I just posted a video on Ride Salty 2. Go check that out. That's my second channel. This is my other channel. One of my other channels. I got a couple, but those are just like dummy accounts. But yeah, I just discussed like on there how like the recent KO glitch going on. The recent 1.67 patch for GTA is still there. And oh yeah, you gotta check out this video too. Tate is now woman. Yeah. But yeah, I just posted a GTA video. Or a video discussing the KO glitch and stuff like that. And GTA. And how it may affect the way you play KO. How it may may or may not discourage you from trying to play KO. So that's what I made. That's what I basically talked about and stuff. But anyways, we're gonna talk about the car removals. Now I don't know if any of you guys heard, but apparently they removed 187 vehicles from the game. I'm being dead serious, and it's probably something you might have heard in the past 2 days already, but I'm coming out and saying it, and I'll get more into detail with it. Apparently they removed, and share this video too, they removed 187 cars from the game. 187. Maybe they couldn't be removing more as we speak. And look, my man ATA the best. My man ATA the best, man. Shout out to him, man. Rockstar, man, like, listen, man, I got a lot of things to say about this. And there's some pros and cons, I will say, to address, why they might have removed cars, or like what were they thinking when they removed the cars. Because obviously whoever came up with this idea, I ain't gonna lie, I think they need to be I ain't even gonna lie, they need to be retaught. Cause like those who like to buy cars and stuff, I feel like in their perspective too, not understanding why, but like for those who like to buy cars, it'll be harder for them to overcome it. Come to the decision of Rockstar removing all those cars from the game rather than just a few. So the first part I'm going to talk about is, the reasonable, what I think is a reasonable amount of cars to be removed from the game. So I would say like the reasonable amount of cars they should remove from the game in GTA Online is probably 30 cars. And really, too, like, I really only wanted a few cars removed out of the game. Like, it's a lot of cars I thought that should have been out of the game. And luckily Rockstar, did, make that decision. But 87 though, I wouldn't say 187. I would not say is a reasonable amount to how many cars should be removed, man. 187 to me, I don't know, man. 187. Let me know in the comments too if this video gets any views. But share this video out to anybody who wants to know. 187 cards, that's like one third of how many cars there is actually in a game, or how many vehicles, because it could have been just vehicles overall, just not just cars, not just planes, not just, trucks. I would say they need to remove some boats. Well, we're gonna get to that in a second. 187 to me though is a bit extreme, and the reason why I say it's extreme because all you're doing is making it more harder to find these cars. Like, it's like you're taking out more stuff than you add in. And while a lot of those cars didn't really need to be in the game because you never really saw anybody use them, to that extent, you're really taking up all the content. Like, you're taking your crossing off all the content. Like, one third of vehicles that's been ever added to the game. And some of them, and a lot of those vehicles, I actually still see people using car meets from time to time. Like, people still use those car meets from time to time too. I would say, for example, probably the Pariah. That could have been maybe one of the 188 cars. I could be wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. Let me know. But the Pariah, I still see people use, and they put like, if they put it like on Benny's vehicle, they put it like on Benny's or F1 wheels. What's another car I could say many people use, like the Krieger. I think the Krieger is still in the game. I still kind of see people use the Audi. Like, if you know DCA, Digital Car Addict, he still uses like, well, he does like car meets. He does like car meets of all classes, and basically of all those cars, like, he reviews like at least, I would say, 4 classes a month of cars. And it's gonna be different types, like old school cars, or I would say new school cars, maybe lowriders, maybe SUVs. And a lot of the SUVs out of those 180 cars, are gone now. Pretty much, I would say why this is also unreasonable, because pretty much it could possibly a class in a game that has no cars left. Like, let's say a coupe, for instance, like a coupe. I would say like a coupe or a coupe or whatever. It's no cars in the coupe class anymore to buy. Most likely because a big percentage of them have been taken off the website. And you can no longer find them unless you either get them in your auto shop or off the street. Mind you, a lot of those cars still spawn up on the street, and I think you could actually take some of them inside your garage without having to pay for it. But a lot of those cars don't really spawn up like they used to. Like, real talk. A lot of those cars do not spine up like they used to, or some just don't spine up at all. So, I would say to make this make it reasonable at most, I think 30 cars should be removed from the game. There may be 30 OG cars. Cause there's a lot of cars in the game that are like OGs that you never see anybody with anymore. You never see anybody drive anymore. An example is like I think it's it was that Maserati, what was it called? An example. The Furor GT. The Furor GT. The The Furor GT. I think that was the name of it. This is a car you never see anybody drive anymore. And I think that was on the list for the number of cars that had been removed already. The Furor GT. When was the last time you actually seen somebody drove this car? Or have you ever seen anybody ever drove this car? Because I haven't. At least not in a long time. This is one of those cars I kept in mind. A lot of those other cars I forgot the name of, but I knew it started with an F, but I just couldn't remember. But the Furor GT, nobody's using this car anymore. Like, this car is completely forgotten. Like a fossil. It's like completely forgotten. You don't see anybody use the Furor GT anymore. Oh, I haven't seen my man Thomas Varg in a while. I think he still play GTA yet. I haven't watched him in a while. Thomas Varg yet. But anyway, guys. Another car I can name that you don't see people use anymore is the Infernus. Like, you know, the top OG cars like the Infernus. Like, let me know if I'm wrong too. Is that car still on the website? Just tell me in the comments below if you play GTA. Is that car still on the website? But the Infernus, that's another car nobody uses anymore. That used to be a car used in races. Now it's not even used anymore. It's not even used in car meets. You don't even see it in car meets anymore. I actually still got I actually still got an Infernus inside of my Eclipse Towers garage on my main account. That's one car you definitely don't see anybody use anymore. And it used to be fast for its time too. Like the Infernus, it used to be fast. The Infernus, nobody you ain't see nobody with that anymore in a race. That was like one of the OG cars. A lot of them I remember. A lot of them I just forgot were in the game. Not completely. So I would say like cars like those, maybe cars like those. I can understand why Rockstar removed them, and that's the next part too. Why Rockstar removed them? And the answer is simple. Nobody uses them anymore. Why Rockstar removed them, and why are people mad about it? And what I think about it. So I would say like I think the reason why Rockstar removed it is that they know not many people use them anymore. Like you don't really see people use the cars anymore. Not even in like car meets. It's not even popularly used like it used to be. or it's not even used in races anymore. Like, it's not the top trending car in GTA. An example like the Pariah. You always see people use the Pariah all the time still. A car you don't see all the time. Maybe an X80, but the X80 I think some people still use maybe. So I think they also did this as a way like to free up space in the game, because the game is very, in my opinion, I would say the game is very saturated. Like, very saturated. Like, the amount of content in the game, like the amount of cars and recycled content, it definitely is very saturated. And it's become so saturated to the point where they had to remove races. I remember they had to remove races. They had to remove missions. They had to remove this and that, out of the game just to add, more DLC content. And I perfectly understand why. And a lot of those cars, there's a lot of cars I actually want taken out of the game. A lot of those cars, they should have never even added in the first place. Like these recent DLC cars, they kind of been recycled, watered down, trash, and just overpriced. For real. Like, pure overpriced. Many of these cars are. So, I understand why. And also, too, another reason is that maybe they removed it. Maybe they removed some of the cars because maybe they might want to add in future content. Maybe we might see future content. Maybe content from next gen coming over to the PS4. We might see more of that. And although I doubt it, it could happen. Like, some cars exclusive to next gen only. Hopefully, because they made this decision to remove all those cars out of the game, we actually might see a car like the S95. They don't even have to give HSW to last gen, bro. All they had to do is just move some of those cars from next gen to PS4. That's all they really had to do. I haven't watched every country in a minute. Yeah, that's all they really had to do for real at the end of the day. Like, remove all those cars. Moving all those cars, probably even on next gen too. Next gen you might not even be able to buy them. But I know for sure on PS4, can't buy them. Now, what I think about people, getting mad about this decision or trying to protest for it. Now, I honestly wouldn't say. I wouldn't say, like, maybe protesting. Because protests, even if we do protest, we may, and protesting and boycotting, they may be the same thing, but I think boycotting is a little bit different. Boycotting kind of opens up about the decision, while protesting goes against the decision. So, I would say protesting is maybe a no-no. But maybe boycotting, speaking out, to help mitigate the decision that was made by Rockstar. And maybe boycotting could help them reverse the decision a little bit more respectively. And even creating like a petition, like, my man Professional. He created a petition for that GTA 4 remaster. They having a GTA 4 remaster, supposedly. And most likely I would expect it out before GTA 6 comes. So to be honest with you, before GTA 6 comes, I would expect that. So I would say maybe boycotting a petition, maybe creating a petition for it. And you know, to help the fans, open up a little more respectively. And maybe it might actually help Rockstar reverse that decision. Cause to be honest with you too, like, and this is my opinion too. My opinion, while although I think a lot of those cars they should have kept in the game, they should have at least kept like half of them, maybe like a little less than half of those cars in the game. But I really only wanted a few deleted. But while I do think the decision was kind of mind blowing, I will say a lot of those cars we didn't need. Like I said before, we didn't use them. Many of them didn't use them, and if they did come back, and I even wrote a comment about this too. I wrote a comment about this on my man Jackknife Finnegan's video. Go check out his channel too. It basically says, hold on, I don't want to get copyrighted. But it basically says like two. Pretty much, if they do come back, sure people are gonna use them, but they're probably only gonna use them for a bit, and then just forget about it forever again. Like they just stop hearing about them again forever, and it'll just sit in your garage like it was before. So it basically, so I don't know if it's a point to some of them even coming back to GTA. I feel like I have a gut feeling. I have a gut feeling Rockstar will bring back some cars that they took out of the game. I have a gut feeling. I really do think they will bring back some cars. And Rockstar, please bring back some cars. If you're watching this, if this video even gets out there one bit, tell Rockstar, please at least bring back, maybe one or two quarters of the cars they took out. Like cars that people are gonna use or people have used and still used. Like the Cyclone. They took that out. I heard they took the Cyclone out. Obviously the Cyclone is one of those vehicles that people still used. And that was on the list of being deleted. So I think they should maybe reverse the decision to some extent, because I feel like 188 cars, that was a bit too excessive. Now, I don't think anybody asked for that, Rockstar. I don't think anybody asked for that, Rockstar. I think at most, like I said before, 30 cars was your best bet. And maybe the backlash wouldn't be so real. Also, so that's how I feel about it too. Cause even though the cars were there, all those junk cars, basically all those cars were just junk, completely junk, just leftovers, like freaking frozen meat sitting in your freezer for like a whole entire year, and you never cook it or anything. Those were just like leftovers. Those are cards people never bought, but they were still in the game. Those were cards that people, especially me, forgot was in the game. Some of those cards I actually bought. Some of them I forgot I even had in my garage. And it's just sitting there. Some of them are replaceable, because I could always just sell them. You know, I could always get them back, like off the street, like the Ruiner. The Ruiner. That one muscle card. I could always get that back. That's no problem. That's one of the cards I have in my garage. And it's literally re-gettable. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm going to say re-gettable. If you go to the streets. And also, too, how this connects, too. This is a new topic. Shout out to my man, Balls Arnold. I'm going to link his channel in the description below. Balls Arnold. So he just made a video, seems like, the Vinewood Card Club. And I honestly think, too, how this connects with all those cards being removed from the game. All those leftovers. Forgotten leftovers, I would say. Or call them. I think some of those cards, most likely in the future, sometime soon, we may actually see them appear inside the Vinewood Card Club. I have a feeling. A gut feeling. And it's probably, it might be perhaps GTA Plus exclusive. Now, one thing I will say that definitely got to me is, like, too, some of these cards, like, how you gonna remove them, and the next thing you know, add them into the podium, which is possibly gonna be GTA Plus exclusive, and GTA Plus is only next gen only, PS5 and Xbox Series XS. That's next gen exclusive. Meaning last gen players won't even be able to get it. Because of the decision they're possibly gonna make. I have a gut feeling, man. And Rockstar is not slick. They think they're slick, but they're not slick. Rockstar really isn't slick. They think they're slick with pushing this GTA Plus down their throats. They're not that slick. I honestly was kind of pissed off the other day, but now I kind of understand a little bit more, why this happened. As I said again, it's a good way to free up content space for, new content in the future. But they're not slick with, what they're doing right now with GTA Plus. I feel like they're going to ram in something they're going to sneak something in to where it'll be that one car that used to be buyable that pretty much a lot of people used. And then it'll wind up being on a podium, only next gen exclusive, or Vinewood Card Club exclusive. So you'll only be able to get it at the Vinewood Card Club. And mind you, my friend, he literally told me that Vinewood Card Club, it is coming to PS4. You won't be able to buy any cards in it. And the least they could do, they could at least let us buy cards in it, and that's it. Because all the Vinewood Card Club is recycled content. It's literally recycled content that'll probably feature some exclusives. Perhaps many of those cards that have been removed from the game. It's kind of BS. And I've spoken about it already too, like this, and the so-called rare libraries for all of this, man, I'm calling BS. I'm calling BS. I really am. Because none of that crap is really rare. It's just recycled content by Rockstar. to promote GTA Plus. So then, like I said, they're not slick. They think they slick and they know what they doing. They smart, but they're not slick with it. So possibly how this has to do with the cars is will perhaps depending on how long the Vinyl Car Club is gonna be in the game. I think it's gonna be on PS4. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what my friend told me. That's what my friend told me. That's what I've heard. It could be here only temporarily. Who knows? Maybe it's just here to stay. You never know. So I would say like two. Two that a lot of those cars shouldn't even come back. Like some of those cars, like even I would say a car, probably some of the OG SUVs that nobody uses. Those cars shouldn't even come back. If Rockstar removed that, then I highly applaud them for that. A lot of those cars should not even come back. Because all it's doing is taking up more space. And it's just leftover. After leftover after leftover. You see on the website. Just pure leftovers. Like forgotten. Like pure forgotten. While many of them should come back, a lot of them shouldn't come back. How many of you support my decision on this? My opinion on this? Because I think, honestly, too, a lot of those cars should have been removed a long time ago. Like a very long time ago. After people stopped using them. They kind of should have did that a long time ago. And maybe it would have made more sense. Like how other games do. Like they for instance, I think I know a couple games like too where they'll drop a car primarily for DLC and then at a later date they'll remove it. It's kind of like FOMO, but it's at a later date, like next DLC or whatever. Maybe something like that. I don't know. But they're already doing FOMO content. Like they're literally doing it within the DLC. Like they're not waiting until the next DLC. They're already doing FOMO content. FOMO content has been there since last year. So it's not even until like a couple DLCs later they do it within that one DLC time frame. And it's been 6 months since the drug wars happened. So two. And I think just like these outfits locked behind GTA Plus, which I really did want them to be on last gen. I really wanted that Nico Bellic outfit. That Claude outfit is easy to get. I could easily get that. I wanted that Michael outfit. I wanted that Trevor outfit. But they locked it behind GTA Plus. Supposedly so. Just like that, they might do the same for the cards too. Maybe even a career progress tracker might even have something to do with like some cars. Who knows? Like I say, man, Rockstar is very unpredictable with their decisions. Very. Very unpredictable. I think they kind of went overboard with the amount of cars they removed. Not the cars they removed, but the amount of cars they removed. Cause that's really all that matters at the end of the day, like the amount. The whole amount. And it's crazy, man. It's real crazy. Also, I guess and like I said too, they're also doing this to promote GTA Plus. I've already explained that. Like it's gonna be at least in every class, in every car class, there's gonna be at least there's gonna be at least one car removed in each car class. So expect some of the cars you want not to be there. Cause in every car class there's gonna be one car removed in each class. Oh crap, my phone about to die. One car removed in that every car class. So expect so to see a lot of those cars not there. What else can I say? Hmm. What cars? I think too. Some of those cars that they did remove. I think what they kind of should have did with them is like two. They could have gave them at least some more customization. Cause too, like, I mean, even though some of those cars should have been deleted a long time ago, if they did get some customization, then maybe it would be best to keep them in the game, or at least add an updated version of those cars that were in the game that they removed. Cause there's only so many cars in the game, and many of them don't actually have customization. Like back then when the game came out, like very few cars actually had like big customization. I might start a petition. Maybe I'll start a petition on Reddit. I might link my Reddit down below on whether or not the amount of cars that had been removed from the game should be added back, and the decision should be reversed. And mm, and how like what negative effects may this have an impact on the new players, because a lot of the new players won't even be able to get it, the cars. If you already got the cars, well, good for you, but it's getting harder out here for the newer players. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And DLC after DLC, it is really getting harder out here. It's getting harder. With the way they're trying to balance the game, it seems like it's getting harder and harder. But I can understand why. I mean, after all, PS4, it's 10 years old. It's only so much more they could really add. So I could kind of understand why they removed some cards, but they didn't have to remove that much. I think just 30 at most would be enough. 30 at most. But yeah, the newer players, let me know too if like you're like a newer player. If you're a newer player, then just know that a lot of the cards that were once in the game, I mean, you no longer able to get, man. I'm not even sure how you're gonna get them now, unless some of those cards, and that's gonna be our next subject too. Some of those cards and like how to get them. So if you're a newer player, let's say like you just started an account like a few months ago or something like that. If you were looking to get some of one of those cards you might have wanted, then some of them may actually spawn up in your auto shop. And you can, and I like too how Rockstar lets you buy cards inside your auto shop, and then you can actually store, and you could basically any card that spawns up in your auto shop too, like the customer service vehicles. But you have to have the customer service in order for those cards to spawn up. If you don't have customer service, then you need to buy customer service to get those removed vehicles. Remember, that's unused. A lot of those vehicles are pretty much unused, forgotten, past DLC content. So beware. Most of them are pretty much gonna be older vehicles, like from other DLCs. So if that car you wanted recently off the website is not there, and you remember, and you go to your auto shop and see it, then I guess that could be a way for you to get your car, the car that you wanted. If that car that was once on the website is not there, and it's at the auto shop, then I guess it could be your turn to buy it. Because some of those cars actually still spawn up on the street too, even. A lot of those cars too, so I will say, like, wow, this is not even that big of a deal. Like, I would say, like, the old cars, the older cars, I would say I can understand why they removed them. But, like, as, time going, like, the newer cars, I think they kind of should have kept it in the game. Like, the newest ones, they removed. I think they probably should have kept them in the game. Because, people use them for car meets and stuff. I think races, too. You still see people use those cars. But, yeah, those cars still spawn. Some of those cars actually still spawn up on the street. So, it would have to be... It would have to be your responsibility to look up a YouTube video on how to spawn up some of those cars. And mind you guys too, for those cars, it could be a car, like on every website, it had to be at least one car taken off the website. At least more than one car. So like if you go to the arena war thing, it could be perhaps a car or more taken off of it. If you go to the Benny's Works website, it could perhaps be one or more cars that have been removed from the website. Like the Nero. The Nero may possibly be there, but you don't really see people use it. Yeah. And also the maybe even of course the legendary motorsport. Now the scroll too. One thing I will give Rockstar from this decision is the scroll is very faster. Like it's way faster. You don't have to do that long scroll. Could just go down and find. I think it's a little bit easier to find cars that you want, or it's easier to find and scroll to other cars and that because of that decision. So I would say like two. The scrolling part, it made it a little less annoying. So I would support Rockstar on that part. Like it's some good sides to it, some bad parts. One bad part I would say though is like two. Let's say for instance like two, one of these cards I know that's still in the game is like maybe even one of those race cars. Like how come those race cars are still in the game but then they removed the Cyclone? The Cyclone. That was literally one of the cars on the list. Literally one of the cars on the list. How come they didn't remove the Mayora? Oh, James Amos. John Amos. Good time star. It's been a long time since I heard about him. John Amos. From Good Times. Anyways, guys, for GTA. For GTA, I think the list, like it could even be some more too, like on Sports Skeeter. For instance, maybe I'll link the website down below. Like, why would they remove the 9F Cabrio and not the Brickade? Why would they remove the 811 and not the freaking Turismo or something? Or one of those cars that's perhaps still on the website. Because the 811, last time I remember, I think there's still some people that use it. See, it's right here. I can link it. So they removed the Torero, the GP1, the Lynx, the ETR1, the Tyrus, the RE7B, the 770, 811, Verliera, Brawler, Coquette, Blackfin, Ferrari GT and Jester, the 9F Cabrio, obviously, and the 9F. And literally two on the cover art of GTA. Did you know the 9F is literally on the cover art of the game? Like literally. It's on the cover art of the game. So I'm saying like why would they remove that? But they won't remove like the RV out of the game. The zirconium. Whatever it's called. RV. Because I'm saying they gonna remove this car that is better, but they not gonna remove this car that's overpriced, has no customization, recycled, and it's just trash. Cause that's what it is. The RV is literally a recycled car, recycled content. That other van, the surf van, that car is trash. It's a recycled content. That should have been removed a long time ago. It should have been removed as soon as the DLC came out. They should have never even added that into the DLC at all. So they got on this list too. I'll link it down below. The Peyote Gasset, the Xeon Classic, the Nebula Turbo, the Izzy Sport, the Vamos. I honestly think they should add a lot of these cars back. Some of these cars, like I would say the Futo. I don't know about the Ruiner. The Hermes, maybe. Out of this list too, let me know in the comments too. Which one of these cars should they add back? The Masacro race car. I like the Masacro race car. I haven't used that in a while. I actually got it on my main account in my Eclipse Towers garage, but I haven't used it in a minute. The Jester race car, maybe they should add that back. The Blade, I never heard of the Blade. The Pagali, Picador, F620, Fusillade, whatever. Penumbra, Sentinel, Rat Loader, Schwarzer, Zion Cabrio, Zion Gauntlet, Vigoro, Izzy. That might be the Izzy for the arena. The Seminole Frontier. Oh yeah, that definitely should have been taken out of the game. Actually, I do got that car in F1s now that I think about it, but that still should have been. That's like literally recycled content. The Dynasty, the Tulip, the BGXL, the FQ2, Serrano Habanero, Chevrolet, Strider, Frankenstein Jacko, Orbital XS Shafter. I think they could have kept the Shafter in. I remember too they had a Shafter. It was a V8 or something. It was even faster than a T20. The Tailgater, yeah. They didn't even need the Tailgater. The Buffalo S, they removed the Buffalo S. Guys, screenshot this list too. Let me know down below. I'm not going to read the whole thing because I don't want to hold y'all up. But screenshot this list too. I'll link the website in the description too for y'all to see. So that way y'all can see the whole entire list of cars they removed. Cause this list right here, it doesn't even look like 200, but it may actually be 200. I think it may actually be 100 something. It doesn't look like 200. The JB700, thank God they removed that car. The JB700 should have never even been added. That should have been taken out the game a long time ago. Because they got the JB700W in the game. But tell me, guys, do you own these cars or whatever? Because it's a lot. It seems like a lot of cars are no longer purchasable. But I think a lot of them spawn up on the street still, so it's really not that big of a deal. So it's like some vehicles, basically. And they even removed some motorcycles too, so a lot of motorcycles you could expect not to see anymore have been taken out of the game. Perhaps they may still be on next gen because next gen has more space and gigabytes. But let me know too. I kind of think Rockstar should add like at least 2/4 of those cars back. 2/4, maybe, as a way to reverse the decision. But I think we should start a petition in order for them to reverse their decision on the amount of cards that have been deleted out of the game. I think we should do a petition. Let me know too if you have already seen some petitions, because there's been a big petition pushing for Rockstar to add a lot of the cards back. And I honestly think a lot of them cards should be removed, should be added back since they've been removed. Honestly, whoever made this decision is insane. Because 187, like I said before, I don't care what anybody says, but it's extreme. 30 cards at most would have to be my flagged petition. So, I think a petition could probably be the best way to get Rockstar to listen and to get them to turn their decision around. And they also should remove shark cards too, because I have a feeling too, the reason why they're doing this is to maybe it's perhaps FOMO content, not just in the Vinyl Card Club, but in general. Maybe they'll be on a website for GTA Plus exclusive only, since that's their new way. Since they know people don't buy shark cards anymore, they know people are buying GTA Plus. So basically, GTA Plus is an alternative to shark cards. But shark cards could also be a way to push out shark cards again, because shark cards don't do numbers like they used to. The shark cards in GTA. Oh shoot, 56 minutes. So guys, I will end this video off here. Let me know too. I'll link Sports Skeeter down in the description below. That's just my insight on it. Based on the information I heard. Obviously, I think, well, although a lot of those cards didn't even need to be in the game, or should have never even been added to the game, because the game was very saturated with that amount of cards, I do think the decision should be turned around to where you may see at least 2/4 of those cards added back into the game. As for like car meet purposes only, racing purposes only, etc. So anyway, guys, check out my other channels, Rye Saucy and Rye Saucy 2. And I'll see y'all later. I'll try to upload more on this channel. Sorry for the long video, but that's just some information I had to get out, just so y'all be aware, and some prefaces. So anyway, guys, have a good day. Make sure you stay tuned on my main channel, Rye Saucy, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.